free.
Hey everyone, my name is Nnenia Yasmeen and I'm a fashion business consultant based out of New York City. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. We're gonna jump right in with where I was 3 years ago. I was teaching English abroad in Taiwan. And again, today I am based out of New York City as a brand consultant for fashion brands and retail tech companies. I always struggled with this idea of what I'm passionate about. I come from a pretty traditional family that always stressed the importance of education and choosing a secure career or a safe career. As grateful and appreciative I am of the opportunity to teach English abroad, I always knew going into it that it was a temporary thing for me. I just knew when it came to a career, I was looking for something that allowed me to be, number one, more creative. Number two, looking for more freedom, not only financially, but also just more freedom of expression and freedom as it relates to who I am as a person. And then also, I just want what I do for a living to be impactful. I want it to align again with who I am personally, my personal values, and the things that I believe in. For as long as I can remember, I've always had a passion for fashion, but I never knew what that would look like as a career. Moving to Jersey was a strategic decision on our behalf. I knew being in close proximity to New York City would give me the possibility of figuring it out or aligning myself with fashion, but I still had no idea what that would look like. I knew I had no connections out here. I didn't have a job when we moved out here. I didn't know anybody out here. I was essentially starting completely over. I was able to benefit off of the retail sales experience that I had gained way back in the day from high school and college when I was working at the mall. So that kind of experience was what allowed me to get started as a personal shopper. I then went the corporate route. I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I just want stability. I want to work from home. I want to clock in and clock out. I just want things to be normal. That's when I went into the wholesale industry. That opened up my eyes and world to an entire industry that I had no idea about. But the turning point for me was when I got laid off. Ironically enough, it was on my 29th birthday, but even in addition to that, I think it was just so ironic because I was finally in a place where I was comfortable. As many jobs that I had worked in the past, I'd try out and I'd leave. This was the first time in my career where I was comfortable, but I also saw myself growing with this company. I thought there were opportunities for growth and I had no intentions of leaving anytime soon. So the irony in that was the rug was pulled from under me and I had to leave without having the choice. And this was when I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go all in on what I truly want to do. So coming out of that layoff, this looked like doing a lot of personal reflection, but I was also doing a lot of research online. I was watching a lot of videos, doing a lot of research on LinkedIn, just trying to figure out what I was kind of interested in. I knew I kind of wanted to leave sales. I thought I was interested in marketing, but I also loved social media. So I was just trying to figure out like what would a title look like, or what did I want my next position to look like. I started to go to a lot of networking events. I was like, at least this gets me out of the house. It gets me in front of people. I can start having conversations and maybe I'll be able to pull some inspiration and motivation from being in these spaces. Thankfully, again, with our proximity to New York City, there's no shortage of events. For me, it was just about putting myself out there as well as just soaking up as much as I could. In addition to going to these events in person, I also really started to take social media seriously. I've again had one foot in, one foot out on social media for a while. Although I did take a step back from YouTube, I was posting pretty consistently on TikTok. I was not getting much return on this investment of time that I was putting in, but eventually things popped off for me there. So before I go into that, I think just for anyone who's still watching this and is interested in breaking into the fashion industry, I'd say that's number one with getting started. If you have no idea where to get started, just put yourself out there. It's okay that you don't know exactly what you want things to look like. Just get comfortable with putting yourself out there. If you don't live in a city, like a big city like New York, there's still a lot of power and advantage that you can take of using the internet. You know, use social media. There's a number of different platforms. You can figure out which one works best for you. If you know you don't feel comfortable kind of creating content on your own or establishing your own personal brand through creating content, you can still use social media to connect with people in the industry, whether it's decision makers or brands or other business owners. You can find them on social media. I highly recommend LinkedIn. You can use social media just to do research and kind of stalk people and figure out what their career paths look like and how they ended up where they are. If there's anyone that you're inspired by or is doing something similar to what you think you'd be interested in. But you could also use social media as a way to reach out to them directly. You can send them messages, or you can figure out a way to email them. And again, pitch yourself to them. If you're unable to meet with them in person and try to ask for like a coffee chat, you can invite them to a virtual meeting and just try to have that conversation to again learn from them and their experiences and kind of spark ideas for yourself. It does take a bit of resilience because you won't always get results. People won't always respond, or things won't turn out the way that you may anticipate, but just keep going. Like, put yourself out there. Be okay with putting yourself out there, because at the end of the day, all it takes is one yes. It could be one email that changes the entire trajectory of your journey. It could be one invitation to an event. It could be a piece of content. Like, it only takes one, and I'm saying that from personal experience. Again, I was going to events on my own. I was putting content out on TikTok without seeing much engagement, and it wasn't until December, which had been a couple months of unemployment at this point, that one video performed well. And it's really what gave me my breakthrough into this industry. I went from 500 to over 10,000 followers in a matter of weeks. And from there, brands started to reach out to me. I started getting invited to events. And it also just gave me a huge confidence booster to keep going. I was really able to kind of get rid of that self-doubt that I had been dealing with. And it just really allowed me kind of, I guess, that internal confirmation that I was looking for to keep going. Since then, things have been pretty busy. A couple weeks later, before I knew it, I had my first client as a freelancer in the creative entrepreneurial kind of space. This introduction came again from a connection that I had made and that I continued to nurture, so that when the opportunity came about, I was top of mind. She put me in touch with the founder and CEO of the retail tech company that I consult with now, and we've been working together since then. But again, it takes one conversation, one email, and it can really change everything for you. And I've also just been focusing on my personal brand, how I really want to show up on social media platforms, what kind of community that I really want to cultivate this time around, and what kind of value I could truly bring to people. I have such big goals and I always get caught up in where I want to go, but I do know that there is a wealth of tips and tricks and information that I can share with others that may be in the same position I was. I actually just attended my first New York Fashion Week show last week. Again, being personally invited. So I'm really excited to share more with you all, but I just wanted to quickly hop on here and let you guys know what that looked like and kind of what things will look like moving forward for those of you that are interested in breaking into the industry. Really excited to tap in with you guys. I've missed creating content on YouTube. And yeah, let me know down below what specific questions you guys have. That really helps me create content that you guys will engage with and will really be helpful and beneficial to you. So we'll get more into what the fashion business industry is and kind of what options you guys have starting out. So I will leave you with that for today. Thank you so much for tuning in if you are still watching, and I will see you next time.